my husband, crying with my kids, going to the doctor. I was in the hospital. I was going through everything. It's been like hell, okay? So for you to sit there and say that you think I was doing it for attention, I didn't you.
Welcome to the Global Dynasty YouTube channel. This is a platform for today's society to stay current with celebrity, entertainment, pop culture, and news. This video is meant for entertainment purposes only. Today we'll be discussing the premiere of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 1, Spring Awakening. And without further ado, let's get into it. The opening scene, of course, starts out with some of our original housewives, Giselle, Karen, and Robin, catching up at the park. And first and foremost, I would like to congratulate these ladies on having the most original housewives still on the show consecutively for 7 seasons. That is amazing, and they're the only franchise that has achieved this accomplishment. Of course, the ladies start with bombarding Ashley with questions about her divorce announcement. Ashley also lets the ladies know that her and Michael are no longer sexually compatible anymore, and she's no longer wanting to participate in the threesomes that they agreed to in the past, and she just wants monogamy, and Michael doesn't feel that way. The ladies are confused because Ashley also lets them know that her and Michael will be purchasing a house in the name of the LLC. And the confusing part for the ladies is if you're, divorcing Michael and you're in the process of your separation, why would you want to purchase a home with him? And one housewife in particular that found this very strange was Robin. And I thought it was very alarming because Robin and Juan are not in a traditional situation, and they haven't been since we were introduced to them back in season 1. They were divorced and living together, and that's not common. That's not something that you hear all the time. So for Robin to immediately throw a red flag towards Ashley in this situation is confusing, because she's not in a traditional situation. And I would think that she would have some type of understanding out of all of the ladies, considering what she's been through with Juan. But of course, she's a green-eyed bandit, and whatever Giselle says goes. Speaking of Robin, she's also the same person that decides to bring attention to Mia's current health status. She thinks that Mia is posting on Instagram for attention, and both Ashley and Giselle agree, while Karen gives her the benefit of the doubt and would like to hear her out and see where she's coming from. I think that all of the ladies should give her the opportunity and listen and actually see what's going on before making judgment just because someone makes a post on Instagram. A lot of people are different. Some people like to share those type of things on social media, even though a lot of people would not. And I don't think she should be judged for posting something and bringing awareness to it as well. A lot of women aren't aware of certain lumps that they may find in their chest, and for her to have the platform and bring attention to it, I don't see anything wrong with it. But of course, these ladies have to pick and poke with everything and everyone, and we now have an issue with Mia posting about her diagnosis on Instagram. Moving on to Love and Light, Candace and Chris are taking the next steps in their union. They meet with a fertility doctor to discuss the process of Candace freezing her eggs. I think that they're in an amazing place right now. They're financially stable. Chris just accepted a new position as the general manager of the Hotel Washington, and Candace just got off tour. She's thriving with her music career. I think that her current reservations are due to Chris's new schedule and his availability, and she's just wanting him there 100% throughout the process. I'm excited for her journey, and I can't wait until she includes the ladies, if she decides to include the ladies in on her process throughout her fertility journey. I think that this will be a great opportunity for her and Ashley to bond, considering Ashley having difficulties conceiving the first time that her and Michael attempted. During the season 7 episode 1 premiere, we are greeted by a familiar face. That's right, Charisse is back, but she's just a friend of, and she meets up with Robin to catch up on life. Charisse discusses her dating life, but she wants to know more about Robin and Juan and when they're actually going to get married. Of course, Robin and Juan have not selected a wedding date. Robin actually has some reservations and would like to get a prenup to protect her new business ventures. I think that the storyline with Robin and Juan has run very stale, and the viewers would like to see more from Robin outside of the Green-Eyed Bandit. So I'm hoping that we get more from Robin this season, excluding the wedding storyline. I think that we're at a dead end when it comes to that. I think that's something that should be discussed off camera with Juan and Robin. Mia is finally in Potomac. Her and G have decided to rent a house for $10,000 a month. She's still adjusting in her relationship with her mother, which will take time. She decides to have a get together with her family, and she invites Karen and Ray over where they discuss her current health situation. And Karen, as a true friend, lets her know that the ladies have questions. So I like that Karen gave her that disclaimer, pretty much saying, look, the next time they see you, they're going to question you about your health status and want to know more. And Ray actually voices his opinion on Karen's newest additions. She had breast augmentation, and he feels differently about it, which I'm kind of shocked because Karen seems to be a woman that has dipped in the plastic surgery pond a few times. So for him to voice his opinion on this situation is very interesting. I never thought I'd see the day when Wendy and Peter cross paths, but here we are. Wendy is actually considering going into business with Peter Thomas, where she'll have 20% ownership of a new Nigerian lounge, which means she'll need to pay $300,000 to start. I'm wondering what happened to her candle line that she started last year, I think during the pandemic. I remember the candles being sold out within 72 hours, so I'm wondering why she's not promoting the candle line and why her focus isn't on that business and growing it and expanding it versus hopping on the next business venture. And then to do it with Peter Thomas, that's a red flag right there. Peter Thomas does not have the best track record when it comes to businesses and keeping them afloat and open. I mean, Cynthia Bailey, she even, put out a lawsuit against him, and she had her own issues with him and his business. So I think that maybe Wendy would benefit from watching a few episodes of Real Housewives of Atlanta before she actually agrees to a contract with Peter Thomas. This seems like trouble before it even starts. And I'm pretty sure Eddie is not going to be too thrilled with dipping his hands back in his pockets for another business situation that Wendy is not necessarily ready for. So this should be an interesting storyline. It seems like the ladies aren't the only ones that have questions about Ashley's situation with Michael. Ashley meets up with her family to discuss the next steps in her divorce process, and she discloses that her prenup is no longer valid after 5 years. And so her uncle, of course, suggests her to get a lawyer to be on the safe side. And I would like to say I agree. I think that Ashley should listen to her uncle and get a lawyer for her own sanity to ensure that things go in her favor. The season 7 episode 1 premiere actually ended at Karen's spring fling / kickoff event. Giselle continuously mentioned Ashley's situation with Michael and how she doesn't understand why she's getting a house with him. Even though Ashley has already discussed this information with Giselle and explained that in order for her to get the house that she wants, she will need financial assistance from Michael. I think that it would be wise if Giselle has those reservations. Why not ask, will he be staying there with you? What are the limitations on him visiting the children? How often will he be there? Versus her just saying that she doesn't understand. Ask questions if you don't understand. I think that Giselle gets away with meddling in others' business, and it takes the focus off of what's actually going on with her, which is nothing. So I really wish that Ashley, I know that she takes pride in her friendship with Giselle, but sometimes tell her to mind her business, or let's have a private conversation. I find it weird that Giselle loves bringing up her friend's information in the worst situations that you can even think of. It's not the time or the place. This is Karen's spring fling kickoff. Why are you talking about my husband? That's exactly what she should have told her, but I don't know what kind of power Giselle has over some of the ladies, but I hope they wake up soon. During her conversation, one thing that I find interesting that Giselle mentions while she's discussing the housing situation with Ashley, she drops a gem and says, Robin's the only name on her house. And when she said that, I was kind of confused because what does Robin have to do with Ashley and Michael right now? The situations are different, completely different. So for you to mention that, it kind of questions your loyalty and your friendship. Why are you spreading your friend's business? That's not okay. And I find it weird that Giselle is still hanging on to the thing that happened with her and Wendy. Wendy actually approaches Giselle. She's very nice and she tries to greet her. Giselle actually looks at Wendy and she says, "Don't touch me." And I think that's the rudest thing ever. You have bashed this woman's body. You have tried to bring on a narrative that her husband was cheating on her. And she defended herself. And yet you're upset because she defended herself. And the viewers favored her side more than yours. Giselle, you're too old to be acting that way. And it's time to let it go. Because I'm pretty sure that Wendy has. But of course, Giselle continues to meddle in other people's business, and she feels the need to confront Mia about her Instagram posting. And she greets Mia by saying, "Is this what cancer looks like?" Of course, Mia's not having it, and she goes off on Giselle, and she has every right to, because why would you try and embarrass me in front of all of these people? Again, Giselle approaching another housewife in a situation that she should not be approaching her in. This is not the event to be discussing a cancer diagnosis, and she decides to bring it up, even though Robin was the person that initially brought it to everyone's attention. Giselle feels the need to call her out on it. So I'm interested to see what the rest of the season has in store for all of the ladies, and I'll be honest, it seems very unpredictable, and that's a good thing. So if you like what you hear, what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time.